Take an image from today, turn it black and white, add some grainy texture, and you've got an image that takes you back 102 years.
I think it's very similar. If you read the accounts in 1918, you're seeing a lot of misery in the world because of the pandemic.
The world was faced with the influenza pandemic, tens of millions killed, cities quarantined, along with colleges, including the University of Cincinnati.
The quarantine at UC lasted for 3 weeks. They reopened in November.
The pandemic, however, did not stop college football.
It was shorter. They cut it down to 5 games. Originally, they had 9 or 10 scheduled.
This is an image of a college football game in 1918.
People find ways to make things work, especially when it comes to their love for college sports.
The 1918 season for Cincinnati started in early November, about a month later than it normally would. And according to reports from that time, the local health board said no to public attendance. Only soldiers were allowed at the first game of the season. Keep in mind, America was also fighting World War I at the time.
You had barracks of soldiers learning how to be students and soldiers at the same time.
Interestingly, 1918 was the first time Cincinnati and XAVIER, which had a football team at the time, ever played against one another.
St. X wanted to have something similar to a city championship, so they challenged UC.
The city championship was the last game of the year, and there were fans there.
UC beat them 12-0.
But by that point in the season, the pandemic had already taken its toll on some teams.
We don't have any patient records that show who was in that isolation pavilion. The only clue we have is that the football team was diminished by 25% over a very short period of time.
Back to 2020, coaches everywhere are scrambling.
Maybe you could have a scrimmage in the spring.
Looking for some way to have a season.
I think that starting the first week of January would be the best way to go.
But looking back in history might be the best place to start. In Cincinnati, Caleb No, WCPO 9 Sports.
And a side fact here, most teams in 1918 only played games against other schools in close proximity. And that really mirrors what most conferences are doing right now.